views expressed on this program are not those of intellectualradio.com, its subsidiaries, or sponsors. Encouraging, educating, and empowering you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
Hello, welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we are moving away from awareness towards action. Go ahead and grab your water, your teas, your journal, because tonight we're about to talk about something that's happening in homes, in churches, and even in our hearts across the country. Our topic is the dating recession is real. Why are people giving up on love? Co-hosting with me tonight is none other than the cancer activist, motivational speaker, and the founder of the Gal Foundation, Rizal Gilmore, aka The Biz. Hey, Rizal.
Hey, Lady ReShell. Hey, Warriors Talk.
What's up?
Yeah, let me tell you, we are
Excited.
in the 5th month already.
I know. Oh my goodness. The time is just flying by, you guys. Like, really, it is.
It sure is.
Well, if you are tuned in any form of social media, please like the show, share the show, invite someone else in on the show that you feel may benefit from this valuable conversation tonight. On the last episode of Warriors Talk, I talked about cancer, the gift, but not the way you think. If you missed that episode, head on over to Intellectual Radio on YouTube and stay connected for any episodes that you may have missed. Now, we're talking about it's Relationship Monday. So, Relationship Mondays are always a juicy topic, but we're talking about relationship recession. And I just wanted to give a definition of what that relationship recession means. It is a societal trend characterized by a significant decline in marriage, cohabitation, and dating rates, often resulting in people staying single or experiencing fewer romantic connections. So there you have it. We're in a recession, Rajal.
Are we just noticing this? We've been in a recession.
I think we knew it, but maybe everybody else didn't know.
Shoot, we've been in a recession for like the past 20 years.
I know. I want to read some of these statistics because they are so alarming when it comes to the numbers don't lie. So in February of 2026, the Wheatley Institute and the Institute for Family Studies released a major national study called the State of Our Union Report, and they surveyed 5,275 single adults between the ages of 22 and 35 across the United States, and this is what they found. Only 1 in 3 eligible young adults are actively dating now. 74% of women and 64% of men have zero dates, and only a few in the last year. Only 1 in 3 young adults have faith in their own dating skills. Only 1 in 5 women feel confident approaching someone they are interested in. 52% say they cannot afford to date and that money is the number one barrier for them. 49% says a lack of confidence get in their way. And 55% says that the past breakups that they have had it makes them more reluctant to try again. But 86% still say they want to get married one day. So just let that sink in for a second because people do want love. People still believe in marriage, but they are sitting on the sideline, broke, broken, and too scared to even try. That's heavy.
What is Rizzy rule number 3? I say this all to Rizzy rules number 3.
Remind
People are
us.
not looking for love, they are looking for help. And
Wow.
this is the main reason because I can definitely say, as soon as I start finding an interest in a woman, the very first thing she want to talk about is tell me how bad she's struggling. I can't even have a conversation without her saying about how bad she's struggling, how bad she need help, and that is such a turn off. So yeah, I can understand those stats that you just read.
So it's not because there's a lack of desire or a lack of confidence or courage. You're saying people need help. And it's a turn off to those who encounter individuals when you're ready, but then they're ready for something totally different.
Yep. Because now I feel as though if we continue to date, I'm going to feel as though you're really just using me because you're trying to get what you can out of me because you need the help because you're in a situation and we ain't even in a situation shit, but the situation is there.
What? Well, isn't it like a business transaction though? That's all relationships and marriages are about. It's a
Not that kind of business transaction. Business transaction was like, look, I'm gonna leave the $40 on the nightstand. That would be a business. That would be a business piece right there. But no,
wow. Well, this conversation is not about people being picky or lazy. So let's talk about the real reason that the dating recession does exist, you guys. And the number one reason right now is trauma from past relationships. People have trauma. People really, I think right now, what comes to mind would be fresh Meg the Stallion and who is it, Clay Thompson?
mhm.
Like that's relationship trauma right there in itself because she was thinking one thing and in his mind it was totally different. Now she's probably going to walk away from that situation like I'm not going to give my heart to nobody else. The next person I encounter, she's probably thinking like I'm going to be guarded. They're not going to get all of me. I'm not doing that no more because when I do that, this is the results that I get.
Yeah, but she's already dating again already. She's over it and past it. She already with a new boo taking her out and stuff.
We don't know that.
You ain't gonna tell me that people are not getting together because of trauma from past relationships. You mean you gonna let that person and what they did beforehand stop you from possibly percentage wise, of you getting your person that you've been wanting your whole life? Your blessing is right there, and you gonna let such and such who ain't even a factor no more, a non effing factor? Mm-mm.
Mm, yeah, it makes it, that trauma makes a difference. In a study, I just read all of those statistics. It says that, according to the study, difficult breakups make people reluctant to start something new. So, although they may go out, although you may go get a dinner, but you may not open yourself up to another relationship because you are traumatized by what just happened. So that pain is still there, it's still fresh. And if you start opening up, then your brain is going to tell you, you remember the last time when you opened up, this happened. So you take a chance on missing out on that person because of what happened in the past. It happens.
It does. It does, but I'm not gonna, well, again, that's just me. And yeah, I'm sure it could be really hurtful to some people, but You got to get over it and get through it. Because if that was your person, then God would have let you know you be with that person. Being he closed that door, that wasn't it. That means move on, let it go, move on. Don't get stuck on just one person.
I guess if you're dating, you shouldn't get stuck on just one person. So number two is one of the reasons why people are in a dating recession and why they are giving up on love is the cost of dating. And we've talked about this a lot. It says 52% of people said that they literally cannot even afford to date. And we know right now in 2026, this is real because gas prices is um, this is like, we can ride a bike, we can get a scooter, but
I
benefit.
Yeah. Reason number two, I totally agree with, because not only just to go out, it's the before you go out. Women got to get ready. You got to get your makeup. If you wear makeup, you got to get your hair done. You got to find something nice and cute to wear. You got to get yourself ready. So that's money there. Then, like you said, if he's not coming to pick you up, and I don't know what happened to that, that used to be a thing. But if he's not coming to pick you up, you got to drive to where he's at or get Uber or whatever the case. That's money. Then you get to the place. Better hope he's not a butthole and have y'all go Dutch. Then you got to pay for half of your dinner or whatever it is that you're doing. So yes, it is a lot of money, especially with rising and climbing costs. And not only are you in a dating um, thing, but also in the economic one that we're facing right now as well. It's hard out here on the boulevard.
It says when your bills are already tight and you're spending money on someone you may not even like, it feels like a luxury that you cannot even afford. So many people are just like, I'd rather not go.
Yep,
They'd
that's the
rather
gist of it.
stay
They'll
home
pass, and next thing you know,
and keep
it
swiping.
just recycles all over again.
And what about number three? Social media replaced real social skills. Some of these people don't even know how to communicate with the next person because they're so busy. The way they communicate is on that phone, on that phone. When you meet in person,
Yep.
and it's, I don't know.
But that's where you're finding people also. It's not like, how we used to be able to drive down the street or meet them at a club or somewhere, bar or something, out. Now it's like, oh, let me check their social media. Let's see if they popping or not. And if they're not, then, they'll move on. It's not like the old days when it was just, you can see the person, you can see the floors, you don't get catfished, you wait, they're actually there physically. You ain't gotta wonder, ooh, let's FaceTime. Nah, none of that. I miss the old days.
It says young adults today spend an average of 4 hours a day on social media. But research showed that many cannot even read societal cues on an actual date. We have become great at curating a version of ourselves online and terrified to show up as our real selves in person.
Yep. They got everything to say over the internet, but you let them get in front of you and they quiet as a church mouse.
So,
Then the
number four,
conversation ain't going nowhere, and y'all just sitting there looking at each other, trying to figure out some type of carry something to break the ice. Yeah. Yep.
number four, where people are giving up on love and we're in a relationship recession, is because the app burnout is real. People are tired of swiping left, swiping right.
That's
When
very true.
the dating app is put there to make it easier, but people are not finding it easier when it comes to online dating. And when you have a lot of that, I would say people like the one we just read, I read before about people building up this person of who they really are not. I know we have seen these TikToks where they meet the people in line and they keep looking at the picture online and looking at them like that's not even the same person because they want so much and all these filters and everything and you can't even trust that. So when in doubt, you be like, let's meet in person. Let's FaceTime. The FaceTime should be if we talk on the phone, we could talk on the phone once or twice, maybe three times. Then after that, okay, let's FaceTime. 'Cause, well, why not? Why not?
Yeah, I want to see what I'm getting myself into. And then you FaceTime, they want to hide and hold the camera down so you still can't see them. You just hear a voice and just see a nah, come to the camera, turn your camera on. Oh, I don't know how to do. Mm-mm. That's that red flag right there.
I think it's you guys sometimes you have to warn a person. Like I like FaceTime, but then sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't want to be on camera. So if I don't want to be on camera, I'm gonna call you on the phone. That means I don't want to be on camera. And there are sometimes, okay, yeah, let's FaceTime. You should. It should be a variety of things. It should be text messages. It should be phone calls. It should be FaceTime. A variety of communication. It does not always have to be, the FaceTime all the times. Because sometimes I'm multitasking. I'm doing stuff with the kids and I may not be able to sit there and be face to face with you, but I can, you know, have you on speaker talking or respond to your text. But I mean, I had a time to sit and talk to you face to face. So,
Well, I will say I'm not against the online dating. I've met a lot of people, and actually, due to online dating, has got me to where I'm at today with this beautiful person, and we're living happily ever after. So I'm not against it. It does work sometimes.
it does. You just not have you have to filter out the people. Just talking long enough for them to really show who they are, and you filter out those people so that you can really get to a person who's serious about getting to know you and putting in the work. Because some people, who knows what they up to, and
Nobody want to put in the work these days.
if you so quick to be like, yeah, let's hurry up. When they inbox you, and then the next thing they say, let's meet. No, no, we not about. You just inbox me. Let's talk for a minute. Talk on the phone, text back and forth, or whatever before we meet in person right away.
Wow,
And
that fast?
I would say don't let it go a long time without meeting in person. Yeah, but at some point you should have conversations. At least if you're talking 30 minutes a day, every other day, getting to know that person, and then for some people it's different. It depends. And I would say I would encourage you not to stay on the phone for a long period of time with a person. Like don't be on the phone like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours when y'all first meet. Because sometimes people can be pumping you for information and then they start acting like what you're telling them you're looking for. And then all of a sudden they gaslight you. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh God, this is too good to be true. I found my person. And no, you haven't told this person how to act. So now they're acting accordingly. To be careful.
Uh, on the phone for 3 hours. Those were good old days, but it's like again, people run out of so much content to even talk about anymore. You better save that and break break them hours up for down the line for days at a time or different time. When you speak to this person, it's like 3 hours. You shot all your shot into that one conversation, and then now what's left? You done. It's over with. Like now you're just there like tee-dee-dee.
Right. So, as women, I always say women talk too much. We tell too much of our business when we meet a man. We telling him everything. We telling him that the last guy beat us, he cheated on us, he stole our money, emptied our bank account.
Mhm.
We tell so much, and then sometimes people will take that information and use it against you because we teach people how to treat us. And so, don't do that. Like, certain information should be never let out, and then certain information should be let out at different times depending on how close you guys are getting. And it shouldn't just be a one-sided conversation where you spilling all your guts and they just listening.
So, because you're talking about your ex, should I be talking about my ex?
If you want to take up, it depends on what the conversation is about the ex. Like, if you're constantly talking about the ex, I'm gonna be thinking that maybe you missed the ex and you want to be back with the ex, or maybe you're bitter, and and how you talk about your ex tells me a lot. Also, I'm listening like, okay, because everybody can't be the problem. Like, you are part of the equation. Everybody can't be the problem, and then there's nothing wrong with you.
Mm.
You are the denominator in every relationship that you have. So, think about your part in the relationship and what happened. And if
Yeah.
anything, I'll be like, yeah, they was a good person. It didn't work out. We just didn't align. And but they're a good person. They just wasn't my person.
Yeah. That would be the best thing to say. Hey, some things just don't work. It just wasn't meant to be. So again, just move on from that person or try to remain friends at least,
No,
don't have no ill towards the person.
yes, I don't have to be your friend. I
Mm.
don't.
You don't have to be, but see, again, Rizzy rule number 4. If the relationship start out as friends, it should end as friends.
It can end as us being acquainted, and if I see you, I'll speak. But yeah, that's about it. Because after that, you lose access to me in that way. Because sometimes people look at it like, oh, the door is open, and they feel like that's a way for them to always crawl back. No,
Oh no, that's what you gotta have, that person gotta know that, y'all can have conversation. And I mean, even like now to this day, I have all of my exes who we still talk, we still check on each other, we say what's up, what's going on, like on a constant basis. And there's sometimes you're better off that way. And now they see the type of, the man that I became, and they're like, man, because then at the time, if things would have worked out, they would have saw, but then sometimes they didn't give it enough time.
I don't care what they think. We're not together. I don't even care. You knew what you had when you had it, so who cares? If I see you, like I said, I'm gonna be pretty and I'm gonna speak, but that's about it. Other than that, I don't. I pray that nothing bad happens to you, but uh-uh. So number 5, reason why we're in a dating recession and people are just giving up on love is women are rethinking marriage altogether. Hmm. So there was a report, it's called Romantic Recession, and it was found that most single women now believe that they are happier than married women. They're watching their mothers, they're watching their friends, and they're asking themselves, is marriage worth it for me?
Hmm. They watch their girlfriends go through a whole lot with such and such, and then like, I don't want no part of that. So, I mean, well, I mean, I think we talked about this, that you don't have to be married, because there's a lot of long-term relationships. even in with the celebrities. So they don't necessarily have to be married, and maybe it's the fear of, what could happen. Maybe he'll do this, but it's always a gamble. I've always said marriage is still 50-50. You rolling the dice even when you get married, know how much you think you know that person. Look how many get married, and next thing you know, you're in a whole domestic violence type thing. You still never know the person. It's always still you're rolling the dice.
That's true. You just have to assess the situation. And again, take time. Don't be such in a rush because of what we see online and how people paint this pretty picture of what love looks like or should look like. Another example comes to mind is the young lady, I forget her name. She went over to the other country with it was her boyfriend at the time. He proposed to her over there, and then she ended up being hung, and they said it was suicide. But online, if you saw her and him online, they would look like the perfect couple.
Hmm.
All of a sudden, they go out of the country, and now this young girl, she was beautiful, end up dead. So you just never know what's going. We look at the relationships online, and we try to be like, oh, I want that. Those are relationship goals, but we don't know what's really happening behind the scene. Because think about it, they get paid for their social media, so they'll make it look however they want it to look, but you really don't know the real story. So you shouldn't base your relationship off of that or your relationship goals off of it. Your relationship should be individualized to you and the person that you're with. And don't try to look at these situations because you just never know what's happening behind the scenes.
What they call content creators. Yeah, that's who they are now. Because you get paid from social media, so they're trying to have the largest following and blow up on social media there is. So they're out there portraying somebody who they are not, and people are falling for it. Chasing this person down in the inbox, the DM. Like, ooh, you living like this and blah blah blah. How do I want to get down with you, and all of it is not real. Again, this is why I miss just being out in the streets and not behind the phone and camera. Let's just say that technology has really ruined generations. And it's sad because people really just don't get to know each other anymore. They read through the profile. Okay, oh, there's one X, but okay, what's next? Yeah, that person is good. No, mm-mm. No, no.
If you guys are just tuning in, this is Warriors Talk. We're live on Intellectual Radio, and we're talking about dating recession is real. Why are people giving up on love? And I want to play a quick video, really quick, that talks about the recession as it relates to relationships.
If you think dating's hard, it's because we're currently in a dating recession. It's only getting harder the younger you are. High school dating, for example, has fallen 50% since the 1980s. Less than half of high school seniors in 2024 reported ever even going on a date. Almost 75% of women and 64% of men in the study reported having not gone on any dates the previous year, and only 1 in 3 adults express any confidence in dating at all, with dating frequency on the severe decline. But as negative as this is, what's fascinating is the reason people are dating is actually more serious. The majority of people are stating that the reason they want to date is for a formal or serious connection. People are looking for true emotional attachment, as opposed to being casual, just trying to fit in, or something fun to do. So it's possible that they are taking it so seriously that it's making them nervous. Currently, there are some economic factors, whereas money is now a top concern for most people who want to go on dates, or who have had bad experiences in the past. Now, to be fair, we are seeing a rebound, so we might be coming out of this dating recession. Just know if you're having trouble dating, you're not the only one.
Well, I heard him talk about money. He talked about the past dating and people taking their time to date because they want to be more purposeful, more serious about it, and not just casually date.
You know what? I think we have an identity crisis as well. And I'm sitting here just thinking because he mentioned about seniors who haven't gone on a date like in high school. You now got, the whole fad, and again, I don't got nothing against it. It is what it is. But you got so many women who are taking women. You're not leaving really any easy pickings for the men. And it's like everything is okay, and vice versa. You got men who's hitting on men. Like there's somewhere people are not understanding really who they are. And we are losing them. And that right there, and I'm going to add that right there alone could be a reason why so many young people are not dating because they're not understanding who they are or why they were meant to be here for whatever reason. So we're going to throw identity crisis in there.
No, I agree with that. Just talking to my eighth grader and my senior that's in high school, and how they talk about a lot of the people, a lot of the students talk about, oh, I'm bisexual. They really don't know if they are attracted to the boy or the girl. They just trying to see what's happening. I'm like, what is that about? Like, where did this come from? And it's a lot of them that experiment way, and then they just either don't date after that because it's like, oh, I'm confused, I don't really know which one I want at this point, so I'll sit this one out. So yeah, I totally agree with that. I want to put a poll up really quick, and the poll question is, why are people giving up on love? And the first option is emotional burnout. The second option is too many options, no real connection. And the third one is the fear of getting hurt again. So, you guys, if you could take the poll for me, and let us know what you're thinking about why people are giving up on love. Because I'm sure there's so many reasons. And one of the reasons could be resolved is that maybe people are too picky.
Mhm. Yeah, they are. Instead of taking the time to really, just even if you're not like interested, have a conversation with them. You never know what you might find out about that person, what y'all have in common. And then you may grow to actually like and love that person without even, but just talking, but just having a chance. Just because you're being picky or you got a certain type, you know, be open.
Man, sometimes I was open and they just proved me right.
Yeah. But it's the fact that you were open to it, even if they proved you wrong or proved you right. You had the conscience to say, okay, I'm open to it. You had that decision. And that was the important thing. But nowadays you got ones you may find an attractive woman and she may not hit you back. She may not text you. She may not get to know really who you are, and she'll be missing out on a good thing.
Well, what about, is it men or is it women that's causing the recession?
It's both. Men, yeah, men done messed the game up. Because now they think it's easy to just throw money at a woman, and that's what every woman think. So yeah, men they have messed it up. It's men and women.
Yeah, I agree with that. I can agree with that. Is the dating recession about standards or is it about fear? I would
That's a
say
good
both.
question.
Maybe both.
Both.
Yeah.
I'm going to go a little less on the standards and probably more on the fear.
Really? Why?
Because ain't nobody following the rules anyway. They're not really too honed in on the standards. Again, it's always about what they can do for me. But people are, people are scared. Well, you know, before getting into anything, you got to think, what is it that this person wants from me? What do they see in me? But these are questions that you got to ask the person. But if y'all not having conversation and y'all just up there FaceTime and hiding and laughing and giggling, doing those little things, you're never going to get to know the person. So I think it's fear, and then fear of missing out. Standards, I think standards is like out the window. People let too much stuff slide nowadays.
Okay, so social media has made us better at performing relationships and actually having them.
Absolutely.
Totally agree with this one,
Absolutely.
which is really sad.
Well, I can't believe we don't have no comments from the audience. Lisa, nobody? Where
Yes.
everybody at? Today is Monday.
They're listening, but make sure you guys take the poll that is shown on the screen, you guys. It says, why are people giving up on love? So, should parents and communities be more involved in helping young people learn how to date? I'm going to say,
So this has always been my thing, and I say it in a lot of my talks. You are a model from what you are modeled from. Basically, if you didn't have a man in your life to show you, or to teach you or to let you know, this is how you confront, this is how you court, this is how you talk, this is how you treat, a woman, you're not going to know. Those days are gone. We look at these videos, we look at, you know, some of these movies and how things are going there. And this is where the kids are learning it from. It's not saying like from the dad or the uncle or whoever is telling them or showing them like, hey, this is the way. That's gone because the uncles and dad, everybody's younger nowadays, and they might not have been taught, so they don't know. So we're starting to lose, that thing. And I guess that's why they're so afraid to approach a woman, because they don't know how, because nobody told them how.
yeah, that's true. I try to talk to my girls all the time about just dating, how you supposed to act as a woman, you know, and even certain things that a man should do, I should say, like what they should expect, and to like operate in their femininity. You don't have to, you could be soft. You don't have to do all of the hard stuff. Like let a man do it. Like we are killing ourselves. Really, we are making ourselves literally sick because we're trying to do what what a man was built for. Like we need to really just take a step back and just allow the man to just be a man. And it's not to say that, oh, he's controlling me or he's doing this and no, like learn how to say, okay, he gonna take care of it. Just
Yeah,
learn, take a step back and just sit in your femininity, sit in your softness and watch him step up.
yeah. But
He should.
that's one of the issues too, because men aren't stepping up, and we got so many independent women that's out there that they're not giving the man a chance to be a man.
In all fairness, because we had a reason to step up because you guys were not there. And now for the guys that are there, I say to the women, if you have vetted this man and you trust this man and his action is lining up with his words and he is who he say he is, and allow him to be the man. Allow him to be the man. Just that simple. So
Yeah.
let's talk. I'm sorry. Did I cut you off or something?
No.
Okay, so let's talk about some of those red flags, signs that you have to opt out. Because sometimes people have opt out of relationships or the dating market and they don't really even know it, right? They just like, they keep saying no to dates. They don't want to be bothered. So sometimes you don't even know that you opt out, but you did. So these are red flags that you have opt out. You tell people that you are focused on yourself, but the truth is, just afraid. Girl, I'm working on myself. I'm just trying to get myself together. You know.
Ooh, have I heard that one?
And sometimes it's true. Sometimes we don't want to get ourselves together and date at the same time because it could be a distraction.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that one. Girl, you've been working on yourself for 2 years now. You ain't working no more. That job on came and gone. You stuck. You stuck right now. Mm-mm.
Sometimes people, I mean, some people take longer than others to the trauma that they went through with the relationship before that. Sometimes you need that because you don't want to take that baggage over into the other relationship and then treat that person in a way that they really don't deserve to be treated, and especially if it was really toxic. You don't want to bring that over into the new relationship, and now you're seeing him bad because of what somebody else did to you. So sometimes you need to clear out that residue in order to, have a fresh perspective on how to love and how you want to be loved.
As my uncle used to say, best way to get over a woman is with a new woman. Mm.
Mm-mm. Right? You just putting, oh, I don't cuss, but you putting boo boo on top of boo boo, especially if you haven't really, that's avoidance. You haven't even let anything air out. I wouldn't want that because if I found out that you just got out of a relationship, I'm gonna take a step back and be like, okay, give you some time, give you some room. I don't want to be that person.
But really, how much do a person a
It,
person need? Like
it
life goes on. We can't be sitting there hovering about what this person undid to you, and you sitting there now lost like a freaking puppy, don't know which way to go or whatever. Again, that's not being. You're not. How long does it take?
for each person is different. It depends on the person. I would say the only thing that I would say would be immediate when it comes to relationship is it says till death do you part. Would your spouse die, you free. Mhm. You can get married the next day, and nobody should have an issue with it. It said until
Oh
death.
no, they gonna have an issue.
They will.
I had a whole issue. They was telling me right from the, oh, you shouldn't see or date nobody for 5 years. What? No, I've been going through this for the past 7. Watching somebody slowly metamorphosize into something that I knew that they weren't. And now you want me to wait another 5? No. Only some people understood that.
Yeah, you. It says until death do you part. Again, for each person, it depends. That space. You working a lot of times as women, we check out way before we leave, right? We check out mentally way before we leave that relationship physically. So a lot of times we be ready to move on because we've already checked out. So, but still, I feel like you need to take some time, whether it be 2 months, 3 months, a year, whatever it is that you need to reset yourself. And you don't have to, you can still date and you can still be in a relationship while you're healing, while you're still working on yourself. But if that, if your healing is spilling over into the relationship in a negative way, then no, then you need to take a step back.
Yeah, you definitely need to pause for the cause. But give yourself the time that you need, whether it's a little or a lot. But don't just, because I feel as though because you're not back in the loop, you're kind of training yourself of not being with somebody because you're looking for those red flags. You're looking for all these different things that, that could be shutting you away from the person who who could be your person.
Yeah. So this is another red flag that you have opt out, and you probably didn't even know it, is that you haven't been on a date in over a year and you stop wondering why. You're just like,
Um,
oh, okay. It feels natural to you. You're not even worried about it.
you have to understand. And probably by that time, you're probably not even looking cute anymore. You ain't getting dressed up. You ain't making sure things right. You don't even care. You're probably not even attracting men to you anymore. And you're wondering why.
Right. You don't want to be. I know for me, when I'm going through my healing process, I try not to give men eye contact. Like I make it my business not to give men eye contact. And I do it for a reason. Because your eyes are the window to the soul. And if you see somebody and your eyes, like, you can, that's one of my ways of flirting without being forward. Like, I'm not the type of woman to go and approach a man and be like, hey, I'm feeling you. You look good over here. Like, I have never in my life approached a man in that way. My body language, my eyes, whatever, may say, "Oh, I'm interested," but I've never been forward in that way. Never really had to be. But so sometimes I would purposely not even give eye contact to men that I knew that might have been attractive. I may have, say, "Oh, they feeling me." I would not even give. I would avoid it altogether.
Mm. See, it's 2026 and times have changed. Where the women, I will give them that, some of them, they are stepping up. Look at their women who's out there getting on one knee, doing the proposing to the man. You know, a lot of things has changed. They're actually, sending men to drink. They're buying them stuff. They're doing a little bit more than what they used to nowadays. These new millennials, they have done that. I will say that.
Another red flag is every potential partner gets rejected before you even give them a chance. You're like, nope, uh-uh, this ain't gonna work. Nope.
Why? Why are they getting rejected? For what?
Because you still have,
Just because you in a slump because you going on 2 years? Mm-mm.
I would rather reject them than to subject them to whatever it is I'm going through. So, yeah, I mean, if I need those 2 years to go through whatever it is for me to heal, for me to feel peace, for me to feel whole,
Mm.
yeah, you better off me going through that than me being with you and you feeling the wrath of what I just been through.
Then a
So here's
whole
a
month after I meet you, you over there with Jermaine. Mm-mm.
you reasons to be busy than to make time for love. You're like, too busy. But you make time for everything else. But when it comes to love, you're like, nope.
Yep. You rather pick up your phone and get on TikTok than come over to get on the phone and FaceTime with me. Yep.
You are emotionally living inside of.
Uh-uh. Are you frozen? Oh, yep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to carry on as we wait for Lady ReShell to come back. Hopefully, make sure y'all are taking the poll, answer that question. We got 3 choices up there for you guys to pick from so we can just see where, what people are leaning towards. What's really the cause out there? What is happening? Why are people going? Why are people giving up online? Why are people giving up, period? Well, the other flag was you are still emotionally living inside a relationship that ended a long time ago. Oh, she changed. You compare every new person to someone who hurt you. Yeah, you start looking at things, what this person did. I'm like, oh, you know what? Such and such used to do the same thing. It's a no for me. Next thing you know, we got to know. You got to stop thinking like that. Everybody ain't out to hurt you. Everybody ain't out trying to hurt you. Real action, how to come back to love. Deal with your past before you date your future. Yeah, I mean, everybody's going to have a past, but best thing you can do is move forward. And I see she is running through these things very quickly. Get off the apps and get back in real rooms. Absolutely, yes. As I said, lower the financial pressure. Try to do things, whether it's sitting at the park in front of the pond, that's not going to cost you anything. Yeah, take your time, rebuild your confidence in small steps. Go at your pace. You'll know when you're ready. Uh, Know the difference between standards and fear. Stand for something or you'll fall for anything. Stop waiting to be fully healed before you try. Love does not require you to be fixed, it requires you to be real. Mm. That must be Lady ReShell's quote of the day. Mm. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here at Warriors Talk on Intellectual Radio. We thank y'all for tuning in every single Monday and catching Lady ReShell do her thing. Well, I know she's probably getting ready to end this soon. So I'm going to give my quote. Love got harder because the sex got easier. Hopefully, you guys, you'll tune in next Monday as Lady ReShell bring you another fabulous episode of Warriors Talk here on Intellectual Radio.